Luke 21 tells us, "And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars. And upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear." Join me, friends, as we look at current events and the harbingers of the Lord's return. This is Pastor Larry Spargimino. Speaking about the sun and the moon and the stars, NASA's first planetary defense test was a success. NASA's double asteroid redirection test, that's DART, moved an asteroid. The DART spacecraft slammed into a space rock and changed the rock's orbiting around the larger rock by 32 minutes. As the spacecraft slammed into the asteroid Dimorphos, the asteroid was pushed closer to its giant parent asteroid, Didymus. Quote, "We showed the world that NASA is serious as a defender of the planet," said Bill Nelson, NASA's administrator. "This is a watershed moment for planetary defense of all humanity," close quotes. Now, friends, Satan told Eve, he said, "Ye shall be as gods." It sounds pretty good, doesn't it? The account goes on and says that Eve saw that the tree could make one wise. She took the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. Man's quest for glory. Ye shall be as gods. We can now move asteroids. We don't need God's help. We are masters of our own destiny. Now, that is the lie of the ages, yet people still believe it. Now, let's move on to the transgender craze that's upon us, and it is going strong, called trans insanity. Boys and girls are told that their gender at birth may not be their true gender. Are you a girl in a boy's body? No problem. The American taxpayer will pay for transitioning, maybe puberty blockers and surgery. When Alabama passed legislation making gender transition procedures and treatments illegal to perform on children, then White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said that the new law would interfere with, quote, life-saving health care. The Biden administration threatened states with a warning that they may be in violation of civil rights law if they put limitations on gender-affirming care, which includes hormone treatment, puberty blockers, social affirmation, and surgery. Quote, every major medical association agrees that gender-affirming health care is a best practice and potentially life-saving, Psaki told reporters. And so, boys and girls are being mutilated, drugged, and brainwashed at your expense and with their parents' approval. Can you imagine that? Now, this is supposed to help them feel better, and it is supposed to lift their spirits. Don't you want them to feel better? Don't you want their suicidal thoughts to evaporate? Some medical professionals are telling parents that gender-affirming care is life-saving, medically necessary, age-appropriate, and a critical tool for healthcare providers. Now, let's clear away the insanity, and let's look at some recent studies. A new study has led the FDA to issue a warning about puberty blockers. Puberty blockers may cause a swelling of the brain, leading to severe headaches, nausea, double vision, and permanent vision loss. Furthermore, the Heritage Foundation said that state policies that allow children to access so-called gender-affirming care without parents' consent have created a significant increase in suicides by children. What a sorry thing that is. Now, what about young people who have been mutilated? Are they all happy? Are they inviting the world to be mutilated? Well, one trans teen has launched an organization to support detransitioning. Chloe Cole began taking puberty blockers at 13. She was 15 when she had her breasts removed. At 16, however, she detransitioned. Now, at the age of 18, she has become an activist and leading voice against children and youth transitioning to the opposite sex. She's organized a group identified as D-Trans United. God bless her, and all right-minded people like Tulsi Gabbard, who has left the Democrat Party. God bless her. She came to her senses. In one of D-Trans United's first official acts, the group sent a letter to Attorney General Merrick Garland asking him to consider the long-term effects of gender treatments on children. D-Trans United argues that, quote, silencing the victims and critics of gender-affirming practices is not a pathway to truth and justice, but to ignorance and harm, close quotes. Now, in a related item, media personality Megyn Kelly slammed a feminist group's claim that transgender women are women. Kelly said this is, quote, abandoning reality, close quotes. Kelly added, there are massive differences between women and trans women. We can be respectful to people while not abandoning reality. I agree. Kelly blasted the University of Pennsylvania when she called Leah Thomas's NCAA Women of the Year nomination, quote, a disgrace. Kelly noted sharply the different characteristics of biological female swimmers, quote, they swam with growing breasts, growing hips, more fat on their bodies, less upper body strength than their male competitors. They swam with shorter legs, thinner and weaker muscles than the boys they swam with periods and cramps and bloating, close quotes. One additional report focuses on the obvious un-American abuse of power by the FBI and corruption in the Department of Justice. Will America's top cops become the agents of the Antichrist? Well, by the looks of things, it looks like they're being groomed for 7 years of service during the Great Tribulation. Harmeet K. Dillon, who has a J.D. from the University of Virginia Law School, writes about Lady Justice on the seal of the U.S. Department of Justice. She is blindfolded and holding the scales of justice, indicating her unyielding devotion to equal justice under the law. She is critical of the Mar-a-Lago raid and is unhappy with Mr. Biden's vendetta against what he calls ultra-MAGA Republicans. Quote, this is the type of behavior you'd expect in a third world dictatorship. The Department of Justice is currently issuing subpoenas to individuals who dare to question the 2020 election results. Yet, Dillon says it was Democrats who challenged presidential election results in 2000, 2004, and 2016. Friends, we must pray for corrupt politicians and national leaders who are trying to destroy a great country. Our most important praying should focus on their conversion to Jesus Christ. They need Him. The time is short. If they are not saved, they will stay while we go. Jesus said, for then shall be great tribulation such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. I don't want to be earthbound then. Pray for those people who have been stubborn, hard-hearted, and unbelieving. They are the losers.